Savannah. Y'all look beautiful this morning. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I hope you're affirming this with us this morning, because you are in the right place at the right time. You are just like you're supposed to be right here and right now. So we're going to invite you to take this time, take a moment to say hello to your neighbors. Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. Come on, Kyle.
I heard little Richard in here. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Savannah. I'm Reverend Dale Worley. Unity of Savannah is a center for spiritual awakening where we recognize God as life, love, and the ground of all being, and we celebrate God by what? Living fully, loving lavishly, and being all that we can be. Let's join together in affirming our vision and mission statements. Our vision, centered in God's love, we inspire universal transformation, one heart at a time. And our mission, we are an inclusive spiritual community, serving others with love, joy, and truth. If you're serving as a prayer chaplain, would you please stand? Our prayer chaplains are here to hold sacred space, to listen lovingly to our prayer intentions, to pray affirmatively and from the heart, and to hold in confidence what is shared. So if you would like a prayer with one of our prayer chaplains after the service, they will be available in the sanctuary to serve you. Thank you for your service. And I had the most wonderful surprise between services today. Y'all have heard me talk a lot about the little church in Huntsville, Alabama that was my very first Unity church. I walked in about 1996 and I haven't been the same since. And lo and behold, out of the blue, Reverend Carol Landry from Unity of Huntsville showed up this morning. And Reverend Carol is a person who's been very instrumental in the reason that I'm standing here this morning. So I'm so grateful to see her and to have her here. And she's going to be leading our meditation this morning. So please welcome her. A big Unity blessing. Reverend Carol, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the light of Christ shining as you. Amen. Thank you. And so we light our Christ candle today to represent the idea spiritual family.
I'm so alive, I'm sweaty. Good morning. I align with others in a spirit of support and cooperation. I am a spiritual being. Nothing is missing, nothing is withheld. I allow my Christ nature to make the choices that lead me through any challenges I may face. I also know that creating or developing a world that works for everyone and a new spiritual consciousness is a collective effort. It relies on a sense of cooperation and understanding that allows my nature to align with others who share my sense of divine purpose. We come together for mutual support at every opportunity, uniting to fulfill the purpose of divine wisdom, life, and love. I am grateful for the love I receive from my spiritual family. I align with others in a spirit of support and cooperation. You are citizens with the saints and also members of the household of God. Build upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets. Ephesians 2:19 through 20. And will you repeat with me? I align with others in a spirit of support and cooperation.
Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om 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 Shanti Om Shanti Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving deep. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving deep. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om. Peace inside my heart. Peace inside my heart. God and only God is moving deep. Peace inside my heart. God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my heart. God and only God is moving deep. Peace inside my
me hear you sing.
Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to sing. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to sing. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti.
So with each Shanti, we're affirming life. We affirm life for our sister Shanti. We affirm life for our sister Rochelle. Is there anybody on your heart that you want to affirm life for today? Say their name.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti.
Jason.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti,
Om.
surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Let's just breathe together for a moment. More than a moment. Breathe with awareness. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Breathing in the awareness of our oneness. We are one. We are one with each other here in this space. We are one with all those whom we love. We are one with all of humanity. We are one with all the beings of the earth. Breathe that in. We are one. We are one with the universe. Allow your mind to open, to expand, to become aware that we are one with that divine allness. Now, as you breathe in inspiration. I am inspired with every breath. And as I exhale, I release all that no longer serves me. Inspiration, release. Inspiration, release. And as my awareness continues to open to this awareness of the divine power that I am, let us reach out to all of those that are of concern. Just holding that name, that situation, holding it in the light of this divine power. I, as an individual, do not need to figure it out. I open and I hold. And let us reach out again even further from those who are close to us, who are in our hearts, to those to whom we may have differences. Whatever those differences are, let us open our hearts to that idea of love. I am love. I am divine love. Breathe that in. I am divine love, and as I breathe out, I let go of anything that does not look or feel like love. And in this place of oneness and awareness, we move into that place of divine silence. Silence, quiet, peace.
my boat. We could all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony on my boat. And if I were Roy Rogers, I'd sure enough be single. Couldn't bring myself to marry an old Dale. Now it'd just be me and Trigger. We'd go riding through them movies. We'd buy a boat and on the sea we'd sail. They did not catch that in the first service. I'm just saying. Well, if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean, but I had faith in you. If I had a pony, man, I'd ride him on my boat. Thank you, Jesus. We could all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony on my boat. Well, the mystery masked man was smart. He got himself a Tonto, 'cause Tonto did the dirty work for free. Ah, but Tonto, he was smarter. One day said, Kemosabe, you can kiss my foot, I bought a boat, and I'm headed off to sea. Well, if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. If I had a pony, man, I'd ride him on my boat. We could all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony on my boat. And if I were like lightning, I wouldn't need no sneakers. I'd come and go wherever I might please. And I'd scare 'em by the shade tree. I'd scare 'em by the light pole. But I would not scare my pony on my boat out on the sea. Well, if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. If I had a pony, man, I'd ride him on my boat. We could all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony on my boat. If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. If I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. We could all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony on my boat. Me upon my pony on my boat. Me upon my pony on my boat.
Georgia Kyle, y'all. Give it up for Kyle. Today we're continuing our study of the little pamphlet by Emmett Fox, The 7 Main Aspects of God. If you get your weekly email from the church, you would learn that we're going to go in depth on this book over the next 3 Sundays. I talked about it last week, and I was so inspired. I've been carrying this around in my pocket for almost a month now, and wanted to break it up a little bit. Somebody suggested I do a series, and I thought that was a good idea. So I asked Kyle today to pick 3 songs, and one of them was on the topic of intelligence, and he picked that song.
Hey, it's either going to work or it ain't. I'm all in.
He's all in. That's true. He's 100% in. And I'm going to leave it to y'all to metaphysically interpret that song. At your own discretion. I had a pony when I was growing up. His name was Blackjack. He was a Shetland pony, and he was the meanest critter that I have ever met in my life. Anybody ever had a Shetland pony or rode one? Where's Peggy? She knows about him. He bit me. He would throw me off. We had one tree in the yard, and he headed straight for it every time I got on him. The branch hit me about right here. I was, 10 years old. I was a little bitty kid, too. Knocked me clean off that pony, so my dad thought, hey, I'll outsmart that pony. I'll saw all the low limbs off the tree. And so he did, and the very next time I got on that pony, he went straight for the tree, and he leaned up against it with my leg between the tree and his body, and no amount of beating him about the head or pulling on his ears would make him leave. And I kind of was out there until my mom came out with the broom. So when Kyle sings that song, I'm on my pony playing the guitar on a little bitty boat riding out in the water. That's what I see. I don't know what you guys see, but we all express God in our own way, right? So we talked about this book. It's really a pamphlet. Last week, I wanted to review just a little bit. It was written by Emmett Fox, who was a divine science minister. An interesting fact that I learned about Emmett Fox this week was, he was a really successful guy. If any of y'all have familiar with the 12-step program, he influenced the writing of the book, Alcoholics Anonymous. And a lot of 12-step people study his Sermon on the Mount book, which is a metaphysical interpretation of the Beatitudes. It's very cool. If you've ever read the big book, I can pick out the unity parts in it. When I go deep down within every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God, it says in there. Like, oh, well, doesn't that sound familiar, right? So Emmett Fox wrote a number of these little pamphlets. I don't even know if he ever wrote a book. All the books I've seen by him are little pamphlets put together in a book. So he goes to Charles Fillmore, right? Y'all know that Charles Fillmore was a co-founder of Unity with his wife, Myrtle Fillmore. And Emmett says, I would like to be ordained in the Unity faith. And Charles says, well, I'd like for you to take some classes first. And Emmett said, thank you very much, but I think I'll pass. So he went to Divine Science, and they said, sure, you're a minister. So he became a reverend ordained in the Divine Science path rather than Unity, which is interesting because when I first started doing my ministry in the world, the message I've gotten some very clear messages in my life. And I hope this message empowers you, too. When it was time for me to start going out and doing ministry, what I heard very clearly was you don't need anybody's permission. You might need a little training, a little education, but you don't need anybody's permission to go and express God in your own unique individual way. So don't let anybody hold you back from being the truth that you are. So Emmett kept on writing pamphlets and doing talks, and this little one is a response to the Golden Key. Y'all have heard me talk about the Golden Key a lot. Somebody tell me what the Golden Key is.
Think about God.
Think about God instead of Your problem. Yes. Because if I think about my problem, what am I doing? Yes, making it grow, expanding my problem, getting more of what I don't want. So think about God instead of my problem. Anytime I find myself thinking about my problem, I'm going to use the golden key, and I'm going to think about God instead. So people are asking Emmett, how do I think about God? I don't know how to do that. So he wrote this little book. He said there's 7 main aspects of God. Now, what I invite you to do as we move through these 7 aspects over the next couple of weeks is to decide for yourself whether those are valid or not. Because when I read this book, I think about, well, what about peace? Where is that? I don't see that listed. Where's power? Where is substance?
Joy.
Well, actually, it's interesting that he says that all these other things that aren't in his book are compounds of 2 or more of the 7 main aspects. So he says joy is a compound of love and life, which I found very interesting. And that's what I've been working with the last 3 weeks, is affirming every day that I'm the life of God, I'm the love of God. And I've been experiencing a great deal of joy lately, and also a great deal of clarity. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But first, intelligence. If you have this book, I'm not going in order, because I can do that. Right? We don't have to go in order. Like, do it your own way, right? So we're going to do intelligence, love, and life this morning. Intelligence, love, and life. And when I first got a job working at Unity Village, I was introduced, thank you, to a very lovely Unity minister by the name of Dorothy Pearson. And Dorothy had been in ministry in Sacramento, California with her husband Phil Pearson, and they had a very successful ministry in the 70s and 80s, and they had a television show called The Best Is Yet to Be. Anybody ever heard of that? Yeah, The Best Is Yet to Be, and that was their tagline. I knew Phil, I knew them both, and Phil would say that all the time. The best is yet to be. The best is yet to be. Okay, great. So Dorothy was very flamboyant. She had like bright red fingernails. You've seen her, you met her, and she's just out there, just kind of sexy Unity minister, right? She has a big red hair and big red lipstick, you know, and she was always very outspoken. So she asked me to go to lunch with her and Phil when I first moved to Unity Village, the new kid on the block. She wants to check me out, right? So we're sitting in the booth together at the rib joint, and she says to me, so, Dale, what do you think after the pleasantries are over? So, what do you think about Jesus? And I thought, well, I'll mess with them a little bit because they seem a little kind of stodgy, you know. And I said, well, I kind of think about Jesus as like my spiritual lover. And Dorothy goes, ooh. Oh, man. Okay. So then she goes, have you ever thought about God as divine mind? And the way she said it was the same way that she said, ooh, about Jesus, right? Have you ever thought about God as divine mind? Like she had this juicy little secret, mysterious thing that she wanted to share with me. Now, I'd been introduced to that before, but one of the things that Emmett warns us about here is that when we're leaving our 3-year-old idea of God to go to a more mature God, that we don't go too far in the other direction so that we reduce God to just like vapor. Because I remember people talking to me about God is not a person. God is a principle. God is a presence. God is a power. I got upset. I thought they were trying to take God away from me. Because I'm like, I have this relationship with God. You don't understand, you know. I was the one that didn't understand. And so I thought they were trying to take me way over here, which Fox says is just another form of atheism in a way, like reducing God to math or electricity. There's still an allness that we can have a relationship with, but yet the divine paradox is that we are that. It's like it made us so it could have a relationship with itself as us, right? So this is where we go when we go into the aspect of divine intelligence, divine mind. Now, when I first started thinking about divine mind, I would get this picture of this giant brain in my head that was floating out in space somewhere, thinking these really important thoughts, right? But I just, once again, anthropomorphized God. Yeah, so I'm just making God, this is what we do. We make God into a bigger version of myself, of ourselves. Fox says in here that he's sure that ants have ant gods. They're like giant ants that are very powerful. And they do important and powerful things, right? So we have to outgrow this concept of making God in our own image and likeness, right? Because what happens when we do that? We make a God that's jealous and angry and vengeful, right? And a God that takes sides and plays favorites. What a great way to get a bunch of people to do what you want them to do by making up somebody to hate, right? I've told y'all this joke before. Why do grandparents and grandchildren get along so well? They have a common enemy. Isn't it great to gang up on people? You know, somebody told me one time it's a lot easier to be against something than it is to be for something. Yeah, I can tell you all day long what I don't like. And as we're moving into love, that's the second aspect. And really, there's no like line between these different aspects. There's no, oh, here I'm in mind, intelligence, and now I'm in love. It's like if you're looking at this bowl, it's going to look a little different depending on what side of the bowl that you're on. You know, everybody's experience in church this morning is a little different just because of where you're sitting. You know, if you're sitting way over here, you might not see the screen or even Kyle because there's a piano in the way, right? If you're sitting here, you've got a different vantage point. So that's what we're doing. It's like the story of the blind guys that go to see the elephant. Everybody knows that, right? You know, it's a different way of experiencing, describing, understanding God by talking about 7 main aspects, but it's all the same thing, really. And the lines get a little blurry sometimes. So when we're talking about intelligence and then we're moving into love this morning, think about this, that do you love your problem more than you love God? Do you love your problem more than you love God? Right? Because sometimes I love my problem. Oh, I don't feel so good today. I'm a little under the weather. I'd rather just stay home in bed. Oh, well, don't come to work. That's fine. Don't fulfill any of your responsibilities today. Oh, I can't go with you because I don't have any money. I'm so poor. Oh, you poor thing. Bless your heart. Here, let me give you some of mine. Right? There's a payoff to complaining. And isn't it fun when you're at work and there's that one person that gets on everybody's last nerves, and what do you do at lunch? You go hang out with somebody and you go, do you believe what he did this morning? I know. Let me tell you what he did yesterday afternoon, right? Do you love your problem more than you love God? Because what Fox is telling us is that anything that we love, we're going to get more of. And so don't love your problem, love God. Think about God instead. The only way that we're going to experience God is through our mind that we just talked about. Because we're all little divine minds. Yes? We're made in the image and likeness of God, so everything God is, we are. So if God is the all, the one mind, we're all little divine minds running around. And so how are we going to choose to use our mind? Are we going to change our mind? You know, and it's more like we're just getting things out of the way so the mind can express. One of the affirmations that we used during our burning bowl white stone ceremony was a quote by Catherine Ponder from Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. I fully and freely forgive. I loose and let go. So Fox tells us, don't be obstinate about these fantastic ideas, but give them a try yourself and see if they work for you. What would it be like if instead of complaining about the person that you don't like, you begin to see them as divine love? You begin to affirm that they are love in expression. If you begin to forgive them for all the perceived slights against you and humanity, right? Edwene Gaines, y'all know Edwene, she talks about, you know, people that dare to insult the queen, Edwene, you know, by being who they are, right? By expressing in their own way. So what would your life look like if you not only affirmed these ideas for yourself, but you affirmed them for other people? In divine science and science of mind, they call it a treatment. Doing a treatment for somebody. So we love to do treatments and affirmations for ourselves. Yes? Yes. Some of us do. Some of us not so much, but some of us like to use them for ourselves. What if we did them for other people? Especially the people that we don't like. Right? What if we did treatments for our world leaders? I'm the first one. Ooh! Oh, Reverend Dale! You went from preaching to meddling there. You need to watch out. Right? Hey, I'm the first one to get on my phone and tell Eric, well, you won't believe what he did today. Right? But we hold that idea of intelligence for our leaders and love for our leaders. What would the world be like if we put a little more love in the world?
It's the bluest of the sea, the whisper through the trees, the serenade that drops you to your knees. It's the sparkle of the smile, it's the honesty in the eyes, bravest bloom reaching for the winter sky. It's the racing of your heart, the sage behind the smile, the home inside the house where you were born. It's the things we can't explain, things perceived but never seen. Everywhere, everything in between. It's the monsters in your bed, fighting wolves up in your head. It's the strange things that you do when you are led. It's on the tip of your tongue, the song that's longing to be sung. It's relentless, it's only just begun. And it's calling no time that it stops. There's a reason why it takes your breath away. And the message is clear. It's the reason why we're here. So put a little more, love in the world. If you're the only one to believe, stand up and set it free. And put a little more love in the world. If you're standing brave and strong, or just barely hanging on, just put a little more love in the world. Hey, put a little more love in the world. You put a little more love in the world.
Georgia Kyle, that was a Bob Simon song. Look him up, Bob Simon. So we've done intelligence, love, and now life is the third aspect that we're going to look at today. Have you ever seen anybody in your family maybe, or somebody that's a close friend, and you just want to shake them? Like, you just need to get a job. Anybody said that about you? Long time ago. Yeah. What if you affirmed life for them? Right? One of the things that we want to remember when we're looking at these different aspects of God, it's not like there's a being that has these qualities. Like, God isn't this gigantic man that loves me. God is love. Yes? Yeah. You know, Jesus said to his disciples, they'll know you by your love for each other, your love for the world. That's how they'll be able to tell that you're disciplined, you're a disciple, that you're practicing truth. They'll be able to tell it, you know. It's possible, I believe this 100%, that people can be healed by our presence. When we're really centered in God's love, like it says that's what we're about here, yes? Centered in God's love. When we're really there, when we're really poised in our Christ mind, centered in love, it will affect people just by us being around. Can we be selfless with it? Can it be unconditional? Can we remove all of the conditions, all the blocks? Yes, I love you when you do this. Yes, I love you, except. So when we can begin to pull those layers away, we can express this love undiluted. Put a lot of love in the world just by showing up. And for me, one of the ways that I am staying motivated is by focusing on life, by affirming life. Our co-founder Charles Fillmore said when he turned 50, he began to affirm life every day in his quiet time. And they referred to him as freshly powdered and baby-faced. He looked so young. He lived to be 92 years old. You know, there's a new thought teaching that sin, sickness, death, and old age are not real. And that the reason that our bodies deteriorate and die is because we have all got together as a race, a human race, and have agreed that that's what happens. If you look at the stories of people in the Bible, the Old Testament dudes lived to be hundreds of years old. You know, who knows if that's literally true or not. But what an interesting idea to chew on. That we could get to the point as a race where we chose when we were ready to die. You know, people say that's what the Aborigines do in the outback in Australia. That they don't celebrate birthdays. They laugh at people who do. He said, why would you celebrate something that you have no control over? But when they're ready to die, they go out in the desert by themselves. And everybody has a party to celebrate their choice. Think about that just a little bit. You know, Myrtle Fillmore lived to be 92 years old. And she went through Silent Unity, our 24/7 prayer ministry in Unity Village in Missouri, right before she died. And she says, well, my work here is done. And I have work to do on the other side. And as far as I know, she just went to bed and went to sleep and didn't wake up. Is that how you know?
It was about a week, but she was in bed. That was her time.
So she pretty much picked it.
She picked it.
Yeah, when it was time to go. So that's how powerful that we are. What would it be like if we looked for life instead of death? How many people are gardeners? Right? You ever talk to your plants? Yeah? What happens when you do? Right? Anything you praise flourishes. Right? So what are you praising? Your problem or God? Right? I got a mum at October, the prettiest mum you ever saw. Someone gave it to me. And in 2 days of being in my house, all the blooms fell off of it. And first, I thought, I'm going to be like Jesus. I'm going to curse this plant. Like, you know the story where he comes out of the temple and he's angry and he sees a fig tree and he curses it with a glance. How many people do you know that can do that, right? To give you the side eye, right? So then I start thinking about my mom. It's like, no, I don't want to curse it. So I got a nice little pot for it and some fresh dirt, and I cut all the blooms off of it, and I set it outside in the cold on a table on my deck, and every time I go by it, I tell it what a great expression of life it is, what a beautiful little mum it is, how much I love it. It's blooming in the winter. I wish I had took a picture to show it. So try this experiment. Get 2 plants and curse one and love the other and see what happens. That's the same thing that we do every day with people and situations in our life. So are we looking for the life of God? Are we looking for the love of God? Are we looking for the intelligence of God? Or are we really looking for what we don't want? Because it's kind of fun, right? So I invite you, in fact, I challenge you to not be obstinate in thinking of these fantastic ideas, but to try them out for yourself and see how they work. What would your life be like if every morning when you got up, you affirmed, I am the life of God? Sin, sickness, death, and old age have no power over me because I am everything that God is, expressing at the point of me. I am all the love that God is. I am all the life that God is. I am all the power that God is in this package right here, right now. Doesn't that feel good? Thought plus feeling equals outcome. And the feeling that we're looking for is that presence of God. And it's accessible all the time, every day. Just are you taking advantage of it? So next week, we're going to be talking about the truth. Truth, soul, and spirit. Some of y'all have said to me, You talk about spirit a lot, but what about our soul? So we want to go there next week and talk about that. And then on our third lesson series, on the last Sunday of this month, which is also our annual membership meeting, we're going to be talking about principle. The whole Sunday is going to be about principle. So let's turn to God. Let's turn within one more time this morning. I invite you to just close your eyes. See how easy it is to move back into that awareness of the presence. I look forward to these prayer times with you because it's so easy to feel God when I'm in your midst, because you are that in expression, and I see it in you. I see it all around you. I call it forth right now. I know that you are the life of God in expression, and I refuse to agree with anything less than that idea. I see you as love, enriching your life and your circumstances, your life filled with unlimited possibilities and all the goodness, all the abundance that you can handle. And that divine intelligence is working within you now, making the crooked places straight, bringing harmony and order to the seeming unreal chaos that's in your life. There is an order and a rhythm and a pattern to the universe, and I see it working in and through your life right now this morning. And I pray this life, this love, and this intelligence for all those that you hold dear, for all those that you wish to bless this morning. I agree with you now, and I see them expressing divine life, divine love, and divine intelligence. And so we get out of the way and we let this work. We loose it and let it go. And we pray this in the name of Jesus Christ and under the authority of all that is holy and beautiful and true. And because we allow it to be so, and so it is. Amen.
Now you go downtown to show your face around. You got nothing that you want to hide. You want to make a friend again and again. You want to wake up feeling satisfied. If you take it to heart, you'll make it from the start. You'll never have to wonder why. Cause life is bright when you look at it right, and that's something that you can't deny. Everybody's gotta live.
Everybody's gotta live.
Everybody's gotta die.
Everybody's gotta die.
Everybody's gotta ride.
Everybody's gotta ride.
Feel good inside.
Feel good inside.
Everybody's gotta hide.
Everybody's gotta hide.
Everybody's gotta low.
Everybody's gotta low.
Everybody gotta be yourself.
Everybody gotta be
No matter where you go.
No matter where you go.
Now if you trust yourself but nobody else, well tell me where you're gonna go. Well, you might as well stay all night and all day at home with your radio. You can take it or leave it. If you don't believe it, it's all so very plain to see. It's your sister and your brother, no matter what the color, or one big family. Everybody gotta live.
Everybody gotta live.
Everybody gotta die.
Everybody gotta die.
Everybody gotta ride.
Everybody gotta ride.
Feel good inside.
Feel good inside.
Everybody gotta hide.
Everybody gotta hide.
Everybody gotta know.
Everybody gotta know.
Everybody gotta be yourself, no matter where you go. Yeah, everybody gotta live.
Everybody gotta live.
Everybody gotta die.
Everybody gotta die.
Everybody gotta ride.
Everybody gotta ride.
Feel good inside.
Feel good inside.
Everybody's gotta hide.
Everybody's gotta hide.
Everybody's gotta low.
Everybody's gotta live.
Everybody gotta be yourself, no matter where you go. Everybody gotta be yourself, no matter where you go. Yeah, everybody gotta be yourself, no matter where you go.
So if you wanna follow along, I'm not going in order either, so because we can go out of order, right? If we want, we have these books in the bookstore. Got them. They arrived yesterday, just in time. We have 10 copies, but you can also get them on Amazon. If you signed up for our email newsletter, I sent one out a couple of days ago, and it has a link on YouTube that you can listen to somebody read the book to you. How easy is that, right? So just go on YouTube, if you didn't get the email, and search for 7 Aspects of God. And give it a try and see how it works for you. It's right in alignment with our 5 basic principles. So let's go ahead and affirm our first one together, please. There's only one ibis. There is only one power, one presence in our lives and in the universe, God. Our second principle. We are the Christ of God in expression. This is a wonderful affirmation that you can use for yourself. You can say, I am. You can use your I am power, the fill in the blank. Go back, Wyatt. The fill in the blank of God. So this morning we're talking about life, love, intelligence. You could sit to realize this idea, I am the life of God. Let's say that together. I am the life of God. What about love? I am the love of God. So when we realize this is when we feel it. When we feel the presence and then we speak these affirmative treatments, we're using our third principle, which is the law of mind action, which says, what? Thoughts plus feelings equals outcome. And our fourth principle reminds us, there is power in affirmative prayer and meditation. And our fifth principle, we must live the truth that we know. So I'm going to ask you, if you would, to please give it up. Wyatt, stand up. Wyatt's running our screen this morning. And doing a great job, by the way. Thank you. That's great. So Miss Iris would use this opportunity to say, well, if the kids are coming over here, then some of us could go over there to work in the youth room, right? It's only fair. Yes? Come on, Tammy. Help me out. Thank you. So this is the time in our service. If you feel blessed and you want to give back, this is your opportunity. Know that you're under no obligation to give. Everything that we do here is for free. Right? But if you feel blessed, we operate here on tithes, free will offerings, donations. We call them love offerings, whatever you want to call them. If you want to give back, this is your opportunity. I firmly believe in giving back 10% of my gross income to the places where I feel spiritually fed. Malachi 3:11 says, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse and see if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing so much that you cannot receive it. So sometimes I will take my tithe and give it to somebody that has blessed me during the week. So I haven't been bringing my whole tithe into the storehouse. So I am committing for at least 6 months that everything that I get from the church, I'm giving 10% right back. I'm going to give my whole tithe to the church. A little test, because it says, prove me now, because I want to see this church prosper. And I want to see all of y'all prosper. Because when we prosper, all of that stuff that we worry about that's stopping us from being the light of the world that we are goes away. And then we're relaxed in the world. And doesn't it feel good to be relaxed in the world? Like to not have to worry about money or anything like that. I want us all to live from that place where we absolutely know that God has got this. Yes? And then see what happens. So come on, guys. So if you're prepared with an offering now, I invite you to just take it out. The ushers are going to come around and we're going to bless it at the end. We're going to do it a little differently. So go ahead, guys. Go ahead, music. I am thankful, so grateful. In
up and bless our
right
music.
now. I'm thankful, so grateful in this moment right now. I'm thankful, so grateful.
Dear Heavenly Father God, how wonderful, how good it is to be able to give. To be able to give from the heart, from the soul, from the very being. We thank you. We bless you, and we are grateful for being given the opportunity to give back. And so as we bless these offerings that come into this sanctuary, we see it as it goes out into the universe to do its perfect work and to come back to each and every one of us 1,000-fold. So it is, and we let it be. Amen.
So let's join together in our prosperity affirmation. Together, divine love has me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. Let's welcome our children.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
So we have a blessing for our children together. God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And I love you and accept you just the way you are. I see the Christ in you. And now we receive their blessing.
God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And I love you and accept you just the way you are. I see the Christ in you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have a new member class today, right after the service. We're gonna, if you brought your lunch, we're gonna eat together in Fellowship Hall for 30 minutes, and then we'll be back here at 1 o'clock for our new member class. Don't forget our annual meeting is the last Sunday of this month, and February the 10th is our blessing and rededication of our church. So please stand and join me in our closing song.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace it was meant to be. With earth as our mother, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous now. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is.
And all is